Hi everyone, the horse among us here, and welcome to Stationary Security Service Part 3. This one is for the weak links who can't think for themselves. I'm kidding, of course. Welcome back to Stationary Security Service Part 3. And today is the live commentary, and if you can hear that outside, well, I'm actually being attacked by a bunch of birds as we speak. It's just a normal thing around here. Don't worry about me, I've lived up until this point. And I'll continue to live, but we're going to be playing Stationary Security Service, and it is a live commentary, so this is not going to be scripted at all, so I apologize if this is going to be a bit more ad-lib, so to say. But the reason why I wanted to do this this live commentary is that there were a lot of concepts that I talked about in Part 1 and Part 2, which you should go watch, by the way, but when it comes to the way that I like to learn, I love to just go in and try it and see it for myself. And that's what I'm going to be doing for you today. I'm going to be showcasing everything that I've talked about up until this point and kind of proving, I guess, that it is correct to some degree. But I don't want this to be a step-by-step walkthrough, so I'm not going to like say, hey, put this operator here, put this operator here. That's not the point of this. The point of this is just to say, this is how I play SSS, and maybe you can kind of learn through osmosis, so to say. But let's just get on with it, shall we? And I apologize if there's some background noise. I am sitting in the middle of a park in the city as I record this, so the birds could... I could be like carried away by birds at any moment. But we're going to be playing Raytheon Industries today. Now, why are we playing Raytheon? Well, people don't like Raytheon for some reason. I actually have no idea why people don't like Raytheon. I think it's easy. Significantly easier than Mama John's, mind you. But we're going to be playing it anyway. And we are going to be playing Emergency because Emergency is the one you should be playing. Because it's faster. And it allows you to play SSS less. So we're going to be playing SSS on Emergency. Actually, I should have just mentioned this quickly. If you're watching this in the future and you don't know what Raytheon is, basically the gimmick of this map is that every map has a poison haze on it, which just does damage. So that's all. It's emergency mode. We're going to be taking portable first aid kit today. I don't really have too much to say to this. Just you can go read it. I'm going to give you 2 seconds. Kidding. That was probably not 2 seconds. All right. We're going to be taking all A's because all A's is cool. And wow, the squad's already here because I was testing this. I was testing this to see if that actually worked. But yeah, it does work. So this is the squad, and I'm actually going to remove this. We're going to be building it again. We're going to be building it from scratch because I want to talk about how to build squads. And obviously, I don't want you to take this literally. I don't want you to say, oh, I should take this operator and then this one and this one and this one. My goal here is to teach you how I do it so that you can build your own squads with your operators, with strategies that you want to do. It's more about the concept behind it, okay? So, the first thing that I want you to do when you are trying to build a squad is, what operator do I want to focus on? Or what group of operators do I want to focus on? Now, generally, I would pick around 3 operators. I think 3 is kind of the nice sweet spot of not too much trash in your deck. Squad. Not too much trash in your squad, but not too little that you can't find it fast enough. So, generally speaking, I would pick 2 operators that take the same buff, and then I would pick a different operator that just does something else. So for this example, I'm going to be taking these operators. I'm going to be focusing on these 3, which is Irene, Winar, and Ashani. Now I know some of you might be thinking, why are you using the most broken operators in SSS for this? Isn't this meant to teach me something? Why can't you use weaker operators? There's 2 things for that. One is that I kind of want to prove that these operators are as strong as I've been making them out to be. But 2 is that the rest of my squad is going to be low rarity operators to try and simulate kind of what you would be looking at, I guess, if you didn't have a very built account, if you're kind of a new player, if you're new to SSS, for example. But this is generally my go-to, I guess. It's very easy. It's not very complicated, I guess. I know that a lot of people love the Golden Glow Gnosis or Golden Glow Suzerain, for example. That's also a very fantastic squad that basically does everything. But I find Irene Winner to be just a lot easier, I guess. I find it to be easier. Obviously, that is subjective. But once we have our operators that we want to buff, what do we do next? Well, we give them their buffs, obviously. So what is the Irene Winner buff? Well, of course, it's the Vanguard buff, right? Of course it is. Of course it's always the Vanguard buff. I love the Vanguard buff, and you should love the Vanguard buff. And if you don't love the Vanguard buff, then I hope you're doing well. But we are going to be taking some lower rarity operators, like I said. So we're going to be taking Fang, I'm going to be taking Plume, Scavenger, Myrtle, Vigna, and Texas. Now the reason why I'm taking Texas is because she's free. Everyone has access to Texas through a mission, I think it is. So Texas isn't actually that good, honestly. But she's okay. She's okay. But I will be taking her just because she's free. Now we have the buffs for Irene Winner. What about Ashley then? Well, Ashley loves snipers. We want to bring some snipers. Now, who are my snipers? My snipers are Vermeil, Cruz. Whoops, sorry. My snipers are Vermeil, Cruz, Ambriel, May, and Jessica. We have 5. And that's it. That's it. That's all we got. That's all I need, really. Now, a lesser player, and I don't mean to point you out, I don't mean to target you if this is what you would have done, but a lesser player at this point might have looked, oh, I have 6 spots left. What do I do? Oh, well, I mean, I can go in here and I can take my like cool operators and just bring some like broken stuff. You know, I could take I love Abyssal Hunters, right? And like Mizuki, he's like pretty cool. And I can just bring like a bunch of these operators because they're strong, right? You know, you have your Shelters, your Surters, your like Ling or whatever, Calcid. Like you can, there's like so many strong operators. I love Fear Meta. I'm in love with Fear Meta. I should take her, right? No. Remember what I said in part 1 is that you should remove the trash from your deck. And all of this right now is trash. And keep in mind that trash is subjective. Trash is contextual, is a better way to say it. Trash is contextual. Where one operator can be trash in one squad, they can be the perfect thing that you need in a different squad. Okay? So just because I'm telling you should remove Penance from your squad, Penance is a very strong operator. And there is a place for Penance. So don't just say like, oh, Mr. Horseman said Penance was awful, I shouldn't take her. That's not the point. Okay? That's not the point. You should find a place where she's at home. You should find her home. That's basically what it is. So what are we doing then? What are we doing instead then? What are we doing? Well, remember what I said? Supporters. We take supporters. We take a billion of them. We take every single supporter that we possibly can. And I'm going to take some low rarity supporters. Well, not low rarity, low level supporters that I haven't even raised. We're going to be taking Suginogi, Earth Spirit, and Istina. Now, in a normal SSS tower, I would have taken 3 more. So, you know, just whoever's down here. Obviously, I would have taken my leveled ones, like, you know, these guys. Or something like that. But because this is Raytheon, I do need to take medics. And this is like kind of a Raytheon specific thing. If you don't have like Sculptor, for example. Sculptor is this operator. If you don't have Sculptor, for example, I would pretty much always take at least 1 medic. Maybe 2 depending on what kind of strategy you're going for, but I would always take at least 1 because healing is very useful in stationary security service. It's just that Sculptor happens to be like the strongest operator that heals because she's also supporter that can like transfer through your deck faster. So that's why Sculptor is like so good. But I won't be taking her, obviously. I'll just take some medics that are low rarity. So I'll be taking Gavial, I'll be taking Pure Stream, I'll be taking Perfumer. If I remember to press the quick select, if I remember, there we go. 1, 2, 3, there you go. And you can see my Perfumer is E1 as well. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. I don't care. And that's the squad. That's how I want you to build squads. I just want you to think about what buffs do I need, go hard on it, and then when you don't have any more buffs, or you don't have like, if you're starting to get into like, oh, shouldn't you bring more like snipers, for example, because you want more snipers to buff your Ashley? Well, I'm not going to start bringing like Executor and like Fartooth or like Schwartz or something. They cost like too much. 20, 29, 21, 20, 20. No, stop. Stop. Don't put more of this stuff in your deck. This is the whole thing that's great about snipers, is that you can pick which ones are cheaper. That's why I picked all the marksman snipers, except for Ambriel, obviously. I picked Ambriel because she's a 4-star. But if you can pick the operators that are cheap, then that is something that you can guarantee will be in your squad until the very end. And that's fantastic. So exercise some self-control. Exercise some self-control. And we're going to keep going. We're going to go. We're going to go. It is time to go, gentlemen and ladies, and everyone else who doesn't fit into such categories. But yeah, we're just going to be going. Also, I will quickly take off all of the modules, just for the purpose of, this is an SSS video, and if you don't know how to play SSS, you might not have modules, so I'm going to take them all off. I'm also going to swap some skills around to kind of weird skills. So I'm going to swap Pure Stream to 2 because it's the worst skill, and I don't want to give you the impression that Pure Stream is like carrying me really hard, I guess, because I do have her leveled, right? I can't really do anything about my Gavial, obviously. I'll swap some of these skills to like the weird ones, I guess, like where are they? Like, who uses Vigna 1? Don't tell me. I know one of you is going to be in the comment section like, I used Vigna 1 in this strategy and it was like actually like optimal. Please don't. I know. Okay, it's probably I have someone that I know would say that. And I just want to, and if that person knows who they are, then I just want to say that I love you. But yeah, we're just going to go in. We're just going to go in. All right then. So like I said, I don't want this to be a step-by-step walkthrough of SSS. That's not really the point of this. The point of this is to teach you about the SSS specific things. So I'm not really going to be explaining, put this operator here, or do this, or do that, or like, no. We don't do that around here. Okay? We're just gonna go. And you can see here that, like, this is pretty standard, I would say. This is pretty standard stuff. I'm sure that many of you have at least attempted SSS before. And you're familiar with, how it all works. And you're like, I place operators on top of each other. And like, that's it. That's like all we do. We just place operators on top of each other and they enjoy it because we force them to. I promise I won't be like too sus. But it might just happen. It might just happen. Alright, we have all the 3 of the pensive statues in our hand. If you're wondering why I'm going to call these the pensive statues, it's because these look like the pensive emoji. I might put it on the screen now, or I might just like not. You can go look it up, I guess. It looks like the pensive emoji. I think it was Goody that told me for that. That was the first place I heard it, is that Goody told me, and then I can't unsee it now. And I hate it. But yeah. We're just going in. LT1, LT1 is not really like that interesting at all. Don't really have much to say about this. But you can kind of see that my goal in all of this is that, like, every time I have a Vanguard or something, then I just place them down onto the same tile and then suddenly my arena is already active. This is kind of the deal with SSS. You want to play fast, because the faster you have your carry operator down, the less work you have to do. That's basically it. Because when your carry operator is down, you just click their skill like every now and then, and that's it. That's all you have to do. I'm actually not going to put SGD now because I actually tried this earlier and she just slowed down this stage by like 10 times because she just slowed the enemies forever. So I'm not going to do that just for the sake of it. But yeah, pretty simple stuff. Pretty simple stuff. You can see here that the Raytheon Toxic Cloud is very dangerous. Even in LT1, I only have one medic and she's like barely keeping up. This is why we need medics. But, okay, now we make our first big decision, which is to put an operator in our squad. Now this is the, like, I don't know, temporary reinforcement, I think it's called. And you will get a selection of 5 random operators that you have leveled up. Now, it is random, but there is always a good decision that you can make. Or maybe a good decision is not the correct way to say it. Maybe there is always a least bad decision that you can make. Now, for the purposes of this video, I won't be picking 6 stars if they appear in this temporary reinforcement, just so that I can keep my squad at a lower rarity. I will take 5 stars occasionally, but I will try and keep it as, I will not take 6 stars whatsoever. Even if they are the best choice, I will mention it when it comes up, but I will not be taking 6 stars. We don't have any 6 stars right now, but I want you to just take a moment here to look at the operators that I'm being offered, and I want you to think, what would you pick, and then what would I pick? Especially considering all the things that we've learned up until now about what operators we want in our squad, the kind of strategy that we're going for. Okay, what strategy are we going for? What operators do we want to get buffed? What buffs do we want? And then I want you to look at this and think, which operator is the best in my squad? Which one? I'll give you like 5 seconds. I'll give you like 5 seconds. Actually 10. I apologize if you can hear a lot of background noise, by the way. There are many cicadas outside, which are kind of loud. They're kind of loud for me. I don't know if you can hear it, but if you can, then I'm sorry. I am just kind of, you know, I have to make do. Okay, so what is the decision we make here? The decision we make here is Roberta. Now, if you answered Roberta, congratulations, you are correct. I think you are the most correct in the room. But let me quickly explain all of these. Carosserum. Why not Carosserum? Well, he's a caster. Am I using casters? No. Okay, we don't take Carosserum then. Mulberry. She's a medic, right? I'm using medics. But I already have 3 of them. And Mulberry isn't really that good at healing. This type of medic is not really good at healing. It's the elemental healer. Therapist, I think? No. The berry medic, okay? The berry medic, or the nut medic. I've heard it both ways. But this kind of medic is not that good. And I already have 3 medics. I already have 3 of them. Why would I need another one? I don't know. Maybe you need another one. And maybe if you have worse medics than me, you would take a medic. If you have like, I don't know, Ansel, and like that's it, then yeah, maybe Mulberry's pretty okay, but I don't need her, right? I don't need her. Rope? Well, am I using specialists? No, I'm not, and it's rope. Like it's just, who needs rope, right? I say that having bought her skin, but you know, and having leveled her up, but you know, it's who needs rope in a strategy like this, right? I don't need the specialist buff, especially because I'm running specialist A. If I can find it, sorry, where is it? Here's it. I'm running specialist A. Like, why do I need this? I don't need this, right? Okay, well, what about Black Knight then? Well, she's a Vanguard, right? She's a Vanguard, but she's a Tactician Vanguard, which means she sits on high ground tiles, which is not good because the last time I checked, Irene did not sit on a high ground tile. The last time I checked, Winner did not sit on a high ground tile. So Black Knight, not really that useful. Not that useful. Even though she is a Vanguard, she's not that useful. But Roberta, oh, I mean, well, isn't Roberta like fantastic? She blocks too. She's not that cheap, but she is like fairly cheap. I think she's like 15, 16 if I'm not mistaken. But she is a supporter. Oh, just delicious. Incredible. Roberta as a supporter. And when I put a supporter in my squad, it means that I'm not really putting anything in my squad, because as soon as I transfer into Roberta, I transfer right past her. So it's kind of like she didn't exist. We talked about this in part 1, remember? So that's why I'm taking Roberta. And of course she's a 4-star. I don't care that it is Roberta. I don't care that, like, you know, she's a... I don't remember what kind of supporter this is. I don't remember what it's called. The gadget supporter. Or some... Artificer, sorry. Artificer, yes. I don't care that it's that. I don't care that she has shields. I don't care that she gives defense. All I care is that she's a supporter. That's it. That's it. So we're going to be taking Roberta here. Hopefully she's not too loud, but we're going to be taking her. And now we have this. And why don't I give you another 15 seconds? Why don't I give you another 15 seconds to, think about this a little bit? This one's actually a bit more of an interesting choice. So, is that actually the case, or am I just baiting you? Am I just making you think that this is a choice, when in reality, you have no free will? Has it been 15 seconds yet? I wasn't counting. Alright, I'll just get into it anyway. So first of all, sometimes when you get offered these operators and the temporary reinforcement, you'll get the option to take nothing. And nothing is great. Sometimes. It's sometimes great. And I will probably explain this more later on, because later on is when this becomes more important. So I won't talk about the nothing choice too much right now. But let's go through this, right? Absinthe. Why not Absinthe? Well, I mean, she's a caster. Same thing as Horseman. Don't really need her, right? I don't really need her. Lumen, the same thing. I mean, I don't really need a medic, do I? Lumen's cool, but I don't need a medic. I already have 3. And I guess I should mention that this will come with experience. Of like, oh, I have 3 medics, but having played this squad multiple times already, I know that these 3 medics are enough. I know that they're healing because I've seen it before. I've actually played them and it has succeeded. So that's why I know I don't need any more medics. Of course, if you haven't played with these medics, or if you don't have the experience, then yeah, maybe taking Lumen is kind of like a safety pick of like, okay, I have an extra medic just in case I really need it, for example. So yeah, Lumen, not fantastic. Okay, well, why not Cutter then? Cutter's a guard. She's a very strong guard as well, 4-star. Fantastic. And she wants the Vanguard buff. But, I mean, guards, I don't really want guards. Guards are an okay choice, but I don't really want them so much. Maybe you could argue that, oh, my Vanguards are, like, not that good, right? I don't have any, like, strong 5-star Vanguards. I don't have, like, strong 6-stars, like your Saga, your Bagpipe, your Flametail. Like, these operators that can really tear up some enemies for you. I don't have any of them, so maybe taking Cutter to protect me really early on is good. And like, I would agree that that's definitely a valid thought process. Absolutely, that's totally valid. But this is another one of those times when I can draw from my experience and say, I don't really need that. I don't really need that, because the thing that I want to focus on is speed. I don't need to protect myself early if I can get my Irene down as quickly as possible. That's kind of the deal. So I'm not going to be taking Cutter for that purpose. Okay, what about Schwartz then? Well, Schwartz is a sniper, right? And we're actually going into snipers already. We're already buffing Ashtini with the snipers. We have 5 of them, and we don't need more than 5 for Ashtini, but I mean, more snipers can't be bad, right? And of course it's Schwartz, who is a strong operator in her own right. So why not Schwartz, right? Well, I think Schwartz is a good choice here. I think there's mainly 2 problems. Well, actually, sorry, there's 3 problems actually. One is that she's a 6-star, so I'm not going to take her. 2 is that the sniper buff is the secondary buff that I am going for. So if I had a different squad where I was using Golden Glow, for example, or I was using Ashtini and another sniper stacker, so Ashtini and Golden Glow, or Ashtini and Gnosis, or Ashtini and Suzerain, for example. If I had 2 sniper stackers, Schwartz would be almost like an instant pick for me here, because I would say, yes, I need more snipers. I have more operators I need to buff. Absolutely. But of course, this is not the world we live in. This is not the universe we live in. You're in this timeline with me. And Schwartz is not the best pick. The third reason why Schwartz isn't the best pick is because the better pick is Wildmane. Now, this is the kind of the thing that I was just talking about, right? Because we have 2 Vanguard stackers, I want more Vanguards in my squad, right? So if I had more Sniper stackers, I would want Schwartz immediately. But because I have more Vanguard stackers in my squad, I want Wildmane immediately. So this is kind of the decision that I have to make. Don't just blindly take Vanguards every time. Vanguards are always a good choice, mind you, but you shouldn't blindly take them. You should think, what am I doing? What do I need? What is my goal at every time I go into a stage, right? And that's why, even though Schwartz is a very good pick here, Wildmane is much, much better. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, I'm going to refrain from saying what I was thinking about because it would get me demonetized. But I'm not saying that just because it's Wildmane. She is genuinely the best pick here, so I will take her, and I will take the module off as well. Who was the other operator I put in my squad? It was Roberta, right? She does not have a module. So yeah, we're just going to go in. And we spent a lot of time on that decision, right? I don't know how long we spent that. We must have spent like maybe 10 minutes on that decision. Maybe less though. But as time goes on, and as you get better and better and better at SSS, these decisions will become automatic, right? Because I looked at that. I looked at that decision and I immediately said Wildmane. Instantly. Like, it wasn't even close. I didn't even look at any of the other options. I just saw Wildmane. I saw Vanguard. I picked her immediately. So, yes, we take a lot of time to make our decisions on this video. But that does not mean that you have to spend that long. That does not mean that it will always take that long, because as you get better at SSS, you're going to make those decisions much, much faster. It's going to become natural to you. It's going to become like a second nature, shall we say. It's going to become obvious, especially if you stick to a kind of strategy and you really play that like all the time. If there's a particular kind of strategy that you really enjoy playing or you find a lot of success with, and then you just keep playing it, well, it's going to be easier for you because it's like, okay, well, I know I've played this 1,000 times. I know that I want snipers for my Golden Glow and my Gnosis and my Suzerain. I know that I want snipers. So as soon as I see a sniper, I instantly pick them. So don't be afraid by looking at this video and thinking, wow, this is like an hour and a half long. I don't want to play SSS for an hour and a half. But just remember that what we're doing here is a little different than what you would be doing. Just remember that, okay? But yeah, we're just trekking along. We're just trekking along. Da, 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 da. Now, I do kind of want to mention something about the mindset, if you want to call it that, or the opinions that people have about SSS. Because I do think this is a very important topic to get out of the way, or that we should address. A lot of people don't like SSS, and I totally get it. I don't really like SSS, to be honest with you. I know that I kind of give off the impression that I do. And yes, once upon a time, I did like SSS back in its oldest iteration. Or oldest? Yeah, oldest iteration, like the first one that came out. I actually enjoyed SSS because I loved the challenge of it. I'll totally admit that, yes. But nowadays, I don't find the same enjoyment in SSS that I used to. And that's mainly because I think it's too easy now. I think that it's much better for like farming because you don't have to think really, or at least if you're good, you don't have to think. But for the challenge sake of it, for the sake of it being a rewarding experience, shall we say, of like being something tough that you could aspire to complete, that is completely gone. And that was kind of the reason why I liked SSS. I understood that it wasn't very healthy for the the farming aspect of it, absolutely. But I'm sure that many of you still have that opinion of SSS, even though it's changed, even though it's become a lot easier in the more recent months. I'm sure that many of you still don't like SSS. And I just want to tell you, yeah, that opinion is completely valid, and I'm not here to change that. But if there's one thing that I will say about learning SSS, it's that if you keep thinking that it's the game's fault, you will never learn anything. If you keep saying SSS is a bad game mode and I hate this and I want to get out as quickly as possible and whatever, you're never going to get good at it. It's the same thing with every other game mode. It's the same thing with every other thing that you can do, not even Arknights, just in life. If you keep saying you hate this and that you don't want to do it and that it's boring, it's awful, you're never going to learn it. You're never going to learn how to do it. And, sometimes you're forced to learn things that you don't want to do. And SSS, maybe that's one of those things. Absolutely. But if you want to get good at SSS, you need to put that mindset out of your mind. You just need to get rid of that. You just need to get rid of it. So, hopefully, by the end of this series, you will not hate SSS, but you will at least appreciate that there is something to this game mode. Because I do believe that to be the case. I think that there is something interesting about this game mode. I just don't think it's really, perfect. But yeah, let's get into this. We have another decision to make. And, I'll give you another, 20 seconds to just think about this for a little bit. I'm not that long, really. 10 seconds, maybe. But yeah, we'll just think about this. What kind of squad am I using? What kind of operators do I want? How far am I into the run as well? That's also an important thing. How far are you into the run? What do I need? What do I need with this kind of stuff? Okay. If you answered Sora, correct. If you answered Sora, correct. Now, I'm sure that many of you will probably understand why these three options are not that good. Or at least they are not the ones that I would immediately pick. So I won't explain them. But I'm sure that some of you might have thought, well, what about Grey? Right? What about Grey? Why not Grey? Because Grey is a sniper, and we are stacking snipers. So isn't having more snipers just better because we are using them? Isn't that better than a supporter? Because instead of transferring Sora, we could transfer Grey instead, and that would actually be useful. And I would agree with that. There's just one kind of small issue with that line of thought. The sniper stacker that I'm using is Ashtini, or more generally, it is a chain caster. And one of the big problems with chain casters that I mentioned in part 2 was that their damage is pretty It's especially Ashtini, I think. Ashtini especially has very damage. It's like the worst one, I think. So Ashtini is always like a secondary carry. She's always there just in case. She's there to take advantage of the sniper buffs, which I already want for my medics. But she is not the be-all, end-all operator like Irene or Winner. If I get my Irene or Winner down, I basically just win instantly. With Ashtini, it's not so much, because while Ashtini does do a decent amount of damage, it's arts damage as well, she slows, it's so oppressive as well. Even though she does all those things, she doesn't really kill enemies, especially when there is a lot of enemies. When there's like a screen full of enemies, Ashtini will just not do anything. Even like Sujin won't do anything. Even Gnosis won't do anything. Even like Golden Glow, it doesn't do that much to that kind of screen. Irene and Winner will delete that entire screen. So Ashtini is more of a secondary carry. So as a result, I don't need to focus as hard on getting my Ashtini fully buffed, shall we say. I don't need to focus on that too hard. It's nice if it happens, especially if it happens quickly, it's very nice, but I don't need to focus on that much. Now, another reason why Sora is super good is that because you transfer right past her, you can kind of think of this as like a wild card, where Sora, because you transfer right past her, can either be a sniper or she can be a vanguard, depending on what's next in your squad and what's next in the preparation zone. So really, it's kind of like she's like Schrodinger's Sora in a sense. You don't know what she's going to be until you place her down, and then you press that transfer button, and you're like, oh, it's a Vanguard. Cool. That's why supporters are so good. It's because they're versatile. It's kind of like if I put a sniper in my deck, every time I draw that sniper, they're going to be a sniper. If I draw a supporter instead, they could be anything. And that's good. That's good when your squad is so focused on doing one or two things. Like Vanguard snipers, like casters Vanguard, like anything like that. If your squad is focused, supporters are infinitely better than they are if you're not focused. So that's why Sora is really good here. So I will be taking her. And now we have this choice. I'll give you 5 seconds. Was that 5 seconds? I don't know. But the choice here is Shimane. For the same reason of Sora. She's a supporter. Now, I hope it's kind of obvious to see why these operators are not that useful. Blitzcrank Defender, don't really need her. Vanguard, but she's a tactician, so not that useful. Harmony Caster, same thing, not useful. Telepsis, same argument that we had with Lumen, same argument we had with Mulberry. I don't really need her. Comes from experience. Same thing. Shimane is a pick here. And let's go. Let's just go, shall we? Okay. You can see, I hope that some of you, when we picked Shimane there, saw that immediately. Because that's kind of the deal. That's kind of the thing that I want you to do. I want you to just look at that and think, oh, immediately, Shimane. Obviously. It's like, obviously it's Shimane at that time. I am looking for a medic right now. I haven't gotten them. And this is the power of supporters right now, is that I managed to get through so much of my squad very, very quickly. Just to find a medic that was at the kind of in the middle. I did manage to get all 3 of the pensive statues in the meantime, but you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But yeah, we're just going. I don't really need Muno. I will talk more about that box a little bit later, because it's not super important right now. Alright, we can leak that. That's okay. I don't know. Yeah. Let's do this. We leak things? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do we need to play perfectly in SSS? No. We don't need to play perfectly. What do you... I don't want to play perfectly. That's so boring. Ugh. Playing games perfectly, optimally? Nah. What? Who do you think I am? Now, I don't want to put Muno there. I do want to put Irene there, who unfortunately was like at the very bottom of my squad. Who's the last one? Gaviel. Kind of strange, because I didn't think Gaviel was at bottom. Alright then. Now, we can put Ashley down, right? That's a full buff. Yep, it is. And yeah. You can see here that we got to the first rest area, or the first like special enemy, I guess in this case. And like I have 2 of my carries, and I've gone through my entire squad, essentially. This is what supporters allow you to do. This is what supporters and vanguards allow you to do. They allow you to just search through your squad so quickly. I'm actually going to place Texas here just to block that so that he jumps over. Okay, I should talk about this. So now we're in LT3, and LT3 gives you these boxes if you manage to kill those special enemies. You get 2 of these boxes overall. If you're really old, if you've only played the very old SSS and you've never played any of the new stuff, then you only get 2 of these, mind you. You don't get 3 anymore. You get 2. But there is a general tier list of these. The best one is this one, the equipment activation valve. It's not even close. Then it is the preparation zone area. Then it is the recuperation zone transmitter. And then it is these 2, which are equally bad, and I would never take these. The great thing is that if you get offered these 2 in the same offering, like this one, like I did here, sorry, then you will always get offered something that's better in the 3rd slot, because there's only 5 of these So if you get offered both of these, just take the other one. Is what I'm saying. Just take the other one. I happen to get the equipment activation valve, which is the best one by far, and I will be talking more about this later. I'm actually glad I got it in this run because it really is the best one, and it's like not even close. It's like not even close. Okay. But yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Gonna keep tracking along. Keep on tracking. Keep on tracking. Istina. You can see here, as soon as I transferred Istina, I just plop her down. And she gave me Jessica immediately. Then I just place Jessica here. Place a medic. And we're good. And you know, this buff, I think it's like 4 Vanguards? Yeah, who cares? 4 Vanguards? Not a full buff? What? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares that my winner has 20% less attack and -1 SP every 3 seconds? Who cares? Who cares? I don't. I certainly don't, and you certainly shouldn't. I know that I've been coming down on high very much for this entire series on SSS. Of like, you should do this. You should do this. This is optimal. This is incredible. I know I've been coming off like that, and I apologize if you were annoyed at me because of that. But when it comes to SSS, if you know what you're doing, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. Trust me, it does not matter. As long as you have like a strong operator, as long as you have a strategy that you know works, that is consistent, that is fast, all of it, as long as you have that, who cares? Who cares that you're not being optimal? Who cares that you're not getting all of them? Now, okay, this one, I would take the equipment activation valve here, but I'm going to take the preparation area transmitter because I don't want to just take the most broken thing twice in a row. So I would normally take this, but I'm going to take this one just in case, just for this run, sorry. But yeah, it's, you know, who cares, guys? Who cares? You don't have to be a god at SSS to farm it efficiently. You don't have to be a god at SSS to do everything that you need in SSS and nothing more. And that's kind of how you should like approach SSS, is that to do the bare minimum. You should do the bare minimum when it comes to SSS, and that's it. And this entire series is teaching you what is the bare minimum. You take 2 classes and 3 strong operators and you're done. That's it. That's all it takes to make a good SSS squad. That's all it takes. And you can see here, right? I just use my Irene on this like on this enemy up here. And then before these enemies have even gotten to her, she's already up and she just kills all of them again. That's why Irene is so good. I don't think I really emphasized how quickly Irene's skill comes up. I said 15 seconds. Think about the fact that that's 15 seconds normal speed. If you play double speed, like everyone does, then it's actually 7 seconds, which is ridiculous. So just keep in mind, Irene is like really broken. She's really broken. If there is ever an operator that you should pick as a support unit, if you don't have any strong operators, it is Irene. Just take Irene. She will make your life infinitely easier. Trust me. Now, when you finish LT3, you will be able to upgrade your directional EC unit. Now, keep in mind that directional EC unit, which is this thing, the portable first aid kit, is different from EC unit, which is this thing, which is these 2 things that we just picked up in LT3. Directional EC unit and EC unit are different. I don't know why they decided to call it that, but that's just how it is. Okay, that's just how it is. So don't be confused by that. But you get to upgrade your directional EC unit after LT3. Now I won't talk too much about this because it's just, you just pick the one that looks better or the one that works well with your strategy. So a lot of people like this one, recover 1 SP when healed. It's very strong, obviously. I agree it's strong. I think that people underrate stim shot quite a lot actually, and I'm going to take it just to prove that it is viable and it is usable. It's just like, you know, efficiency capsule is so insane. right? But I'm going to be taking Stim Shot. We don't get an operator choice after that stage, so we're just going to keep going. Anything I need to change? No, let's go. Let's go. All right, so I guess now is a great time to talk about the pre-operation adjustment, which is what we're doing right now. What is the pre-operation adjustment? Now, this is essentially a second chance. Because obviously, when you go into a stage, you have this. It just gives you random operators in your deployment zone. And sometimes you look at these and you're like, wow, I can't use any of these. And this is a chance to remove them and put them back into your squad, into your preparation zone, and then take some things out of your preparation zone and put it into your deployment zone. And of course it's random, because it always is. But what am I looking for here? Okay, what am I looking for when I'm doing this? Well, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for operators that defend me early. I'm looking for at least one of my carries, preferably one carry, to be honest, preferably one. And I'm looking for their buffs. So the three things. So I'm looking for early defenders, I'm looking for someone to buff, and I'm looking for their buffs. So I have Winner. Winner is not a great first operator because he doesn't block, obviously. So I kind of don't want him. I don't want a supporter because she doesn't do anything. And her main goal is to transfer through my deck faster. It's much better to transfer into a supporter and then transfer past them rather than have them in your opening deployment. Because it's just kind of a dead weight in your squad. Especially if you're taking level 1 supporters like me. Because then they actually don't do anything. So I'm going to be throwing Estina here. Gently. I'm also going to throw my Winner actually. I'm going to throw my Winner. And I'm going to throw my Ambriel, I think. The reason why I'm throwing Ambriel is just because she costs a little bit more. And I already have Cruz and Jessica who will defend me. I also have Scavenger, I have Vigna, and I have Fang. Scavenger and Vigna are good enough to defend. I also have these in my hand, which is very good. Because these can search out things in my preparation zone. These are basically like... I don't know if there's another term I can use, but you can use these to search for things in your preparation zone, so that's why we call them searchers, essentially. I know, it's a very creative name, incredible. But yeah, we can roll with this. Keep in mind that you don't have to throw all 4. You can throw 3 or 2 or 1. It doesn't matter. You can throw, or you can throw 0, obviously. But I'm gonna be throwing these 3, and we'll see what we get. Let's see what we get. Okay. So we got Shimade, who's not great. We got the Pensive Statue, which is the worst thing we can get. And we got Asjani. I will just transfer a little bit more. Got a Medic. That's cool. And the Equipment Activation Valve. Okay. Alright, so let's just put Pure Stream down first. And then... not Vigna, actually. Scavenger. And we're just gonna exist here. I'm gonna use this preparation zone searcher, I think. Yeah. So what this is? I should probably explain what this is. You put it down, and then it looks into your preparation zone, and you can pick 2 things out of 4. So I place this down. It gives me a selection of 4 things, and then I pick 2 of them, and it puts them into my deployment zone. This is a very weird choice. It gave me supporters, which is not very useful right now, but I guess it's okay to take these 2. That's fine. I'll just deploy Sora here. Activate this skill. There's Texas, we put it down. I'm gonna wait for the skill actually. Wait for the skill, activate that. Then we go here. It will kind of depend, I think. I will activate that as well because this is about to die. And it will spread that corruption that deals damage, which is not fun. But yeah, we're just going. I'm looking for my a carry here, Irene. I'm also looking for snipers. I'm looking for that kind of stuff. Irene's like at the bottom, so that's okay. But we can put our Wiener here in a moment. Let me put this statue down. just use the Sora for a little bit of healing. Why not? Why not? We put this here. Our perfumer. We grab another pensive statue. Looks like Irene's at the very bottom. But you know, I'm not really like fuss about this, you know? I'm not really, Irene's at the bottom, who cares, right? It doesn't really matter to me because like I have vanguards and I have snipers and they're doing good work, you know, they're defending me. I don't really need my carries at this moment. I'm just trekking through and like, yeah, I got unlucky, like my main carry was at the bottom, but like, doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's like, oh yeah, I got unlucky, okay. Shame. You know, this was a pretty slow run. This is a pretty slow one. Like I got my first carry down, 25 enemies in. Yeah, pretty slow, but like now that I have winner, I kind of just win. I kind of just win, guys. I kind of just win. And then when we have our Astroneer in a moment, and then we just do this. We just do that. And yeah. So now I can showcase this, which is the equipment activation valve. Now, the equipment activation valve is... Wow, do you want to give me more supporters? Thanks. The equipment activation valve is incredible. And the reason why it's incredible is because it allows you to accelerate your squad so much faster. Because it's like, oh, I only have one buff on this tile. Well, if I put Wildmane here and I activate this, for example, then now there's 3 buffs. And now I'm only looking for 1 more. And then my arena is done, right? So I could go, oh, there's 1. Okay, there you go. The equipment activation valve is an accelerator. It makes everything faster. And it also means that you need less vanguards or less snipers or less defenders or less guards, whatever the buff you're using. It means that you need less of it. And you can kind of think of it like a supporter. Remember how earlier we were talking about supporters and how it was kind of a wild card of like, oh, you never know what you're going to get, right? It's like a loot box. It's like a loot box if you want to think about it that way. If your brain is rotting in that sense. Well, you don't know what you get. Well, the equipment activation valve is kind of the same deal where it's very versatile. You just like, I have it in my deployment zone. It could be any 2 buffs that I want. And that's the beauty of it. That's the wonderful thing. That's a marvelous thing. That's a marvelous thing. But we're going in to LT5 and we have another decision to make. Oh no, I only have an hour. It's okay. So why don't you have a look at this and think about what we need. Think about what we want to take. While I take a sip of water because my throat is kind of dying. Should I have slurped that like really hard for you? Are you into that? Don't answer that, please. So, what did you decide? Did you decide Siege? Well, you're correct. Siege is correct. But she's a 6-star, so I'm not going to take her. Not going to take her because she's a 6-star. Did you pick Angelina? I also think Angelina is correct. She's perfectly viable. But she's a 6-star, so I'm not going to take her. Did you pick Meteor? Well, Meteor is also good. I think Meteor is perfectly valid. Bonus points because she's a horse. But like I said, I don't think I need snipers that much. I would take her though. If Siege and Angelina didn't exist, if they didn't actually exist and I wasn't doing this thing where I wasn't taking any 6-stars or whatever, like I think Meteor would be an okay choice here. The other choice, J is not useful, mind you. The other choice here is to not take anything. Now, we were mentioning this earlier and I will mention this again. I will continue the conversation we had about taking nothing. Taking nothing becomes much more viable in the later stage of SSS because you will have enough operators in your squad to do whatever you want that you don't need anything else. So basically when you get to LT5 and 6, if you see nothing, it's going to be significantly better than if you saw nothing on like LT2 or LT1 even. Because on LT1 and 2, you're still building a good squad. You're still trying to get to the point where you have enough operators that you can do stuff. In LT5, you probably are almost there. I'm not quite there. And the reason why I say that I'm not quite at that point yet is because of something that I call critical mass, so to say. Critical mass, and keep in mind that this is just a term I use, it's not something that other people say, but critical mass is when I have enough buffs to buff my operators without having to recycle my entire squad. So what do I mean by recycle? Remember, when our preparation zone is empty, everything from the recuperation zone goes back into the preparation zone, and you get to just do it again, basically. And it will keep doing that the more you do it. I want to be able to buff my operators without that happening. I want to be able to get all my operators fully buffed and not have to cycle through my entire squad again. Because when I cycle through my entire squad again, that introduces a whole host of randomness. Because then I have to go through possibly every single operator in my squad again to get the buff or the operator that I want. And that's bad. That's inconsistent. That is not what you want. So generally speaking, I want to have enough buffs where I can just go once and all my operators are buffed. So how many buffs do I need? And now I know I'm asking a lot of you in this, but you're going to have to bear with me. I want Irene buffed and I want Winner buffed. How many buffs does Irene want? Well, she wants like 5, right? 5 Vanguards. How much does Winner want? Well, Winner wants 5, right? Well, it's kind of hard, I don't know what I should be like expecting of you in terms of like your background or your the level of education that you completed, but I'm going to just tentatively say that 5 plus 5 is 10. And I hope that you agree with me on that one. Now, if you look at how many Vanguards I have, I don't think I have 10. Because there's 1, okay, and then there's 2, and 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then after 6 is 7, right? So I have 7. And the last time I checked, I don't think that 7 is the same as 10. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that 7 is not 10, at least not in this universe. So when I am looking at this critical mass, if my critical mass is 10 and I have 7 Vanguards, that means I want more Vanguards. That means I need more Vanguards. And that's why Siege is such a powerful pick here, because then she gets me to 8. Now this is a bit of a different run because I do have the equipment activation valve, which counts as 2 buffs, mind you. So really, I kind of have 9 Vanguard buffs right now. And if I pick Siege, that will put me at 10, which is the critical mass. That is where I want to be. So Siege is not only a great pick because she's a Vanguard here, she's a great pick because she gets me to my critical mass immediately and I don't have to cycle through my deck ever again. That's why Siege is amazing here. I don't care that it's Siege. I don't care that it's, she's bad. I don't care that she doesn't do jack or whatever. I don't know. I don't care about that. All I care is that she's a Vanguard. Now, that being said, I did say that I was not going to take 6 stars. I'm not going to take Meteor either, because I think Meteor is actually the best choice if I ignore the 6 stars. In fact, I'm going to take Gummy. Now, why am I taking Gummy? It's not because she heals. It's because she's a defender. One of the greatest things about defenders is that they block 3. And now you might, it's like, oh, of course they block 3. What are you talking about? You're going insane. Why? First you tell me that Siege is good, and then now you're telling me that defenders block 3. Like, defenders blocking 3 is so underrated. Defenders being tankier than other operators is so underrated. I don't know why people just devalue defenders so much. It makes the game easy. Defenders make the game easy. Now, if you are a newer player to SSS, don't be afraid to take defenders. Don't be afraid of that. It's why in part 2, when I was talking about Mudrock, I mentioned that she blocks 3. That is probably the most important thing about Mudrock, is that she blocks 3. She can just tank enemies. She can just stand there and say, "Excuse me, you can't get past me because I am dummy thick." Now, I'm not saying that Gummy is dummy thick, but she still blocks 3, okay? And I'm going to take her, and I'm going to prove to you that Gummy is at least an okay choice here. But yes, keep in mind that Siege is far and away the best choice here. But I will be taking Gummy. And just to kind of, I guess, prove the point, shall we say, I will be swapping her to skill 2 and never using it. Just so you know that it's not about the healing. And would you like to make your decision here? Would you like to make your decision here? I'm sure that you guys already know what I'm going to pick, right? You guys already know what to pick. It's Catapult. I'm kidding, it's Elysium. It's Elysium, right? Elysium, he's a Vanguard, right? He's a Vanguard. Oh my gosh, it's a Vanguard. He's a Vanguard. He's a Vanguard. And he's not a 6-star, so it's legal. It's legal in the challenge. He's not a 6-star. Even though I think many people might argue that he is a 6-star. But anyways, Elysium. Now you might think, well, I mean, this is very uncharacteristic, sir. I expected more of you. But I have to make sacrifices when it comes to you guys, okay? I have to sacrifice things. And that's why we're taking Elysium. Now, I do want to talk about Specialist for a moment, because we did also get offered J. Now, with the Specialist A equipment, which is this one, Specialist A can really save you in those critical moments when your operator dies for some reason, and then you just plop someone down, plop a Specialist on them, they get back into your deployment zone, and then you can just deploy them again. And it kind of saves you. And yeah, I guess that is useful in a sense. But if your operators are strong, if your strategy is strong, if you know what you're doing, that will kind of not happen. It just kind of won't happen. It's like, if you have strong enough operators, your operators shouldn't be dying. That's basically it. So that's why specialists are I generally don't like taking specialists, and usually my squads will have 0 specialists in them at all. Well, this run as well also has 0 specialists, because I think that most other operators are just generally better. But I will be taking Elysium here. So I will take Gummy off of the module, and I will swap her to 2, just to prove that it doesn't matter. And we're just going to go LT5, 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 LT5. Okay. So what are we looking at here? Well, I want to get rid of this, obviously. I don't think I have to. Do I have to explain why I want to get rid of the heavy insulated concrete? I hope I don't. I'm going to be getting rid of the supporters. Like we said, we want to transfer into a supporter, not just have them. And I think that's it. Actually, I'm going to get rid of my winner, probably. No, actually, I have this. I have a Vanguard. I'll keep winner. And we'll just go. Okay, some more stuff. Okay. This is looking good. All right, we put our medic down first. Pure stream. And then we have here, right? I don't remember how I set up this stage again. I think it's here. I don't remember how I set up this stage. I apologize. Not there. Here. So the general gist of this stage is that I want to kill this tree and I want to kill this tree. And then I leak the other 2. And I have to not leak anything else though. That's the kicker. I have to leak nothing else, otherwise it doesn't work. So yeah, hopefully it goes well. If this does fail, I just want you to know that I love you. And it was nice knowing you. That's all. That's all. I felt like that needed to be said. So this is not great. I'm looking for my vanguards. They're all like at the bottom. All my vanguards are bottoms. Who do you think is the most bottom vanguard? I don't think I should have said that. Don't answer that question in the please. No. Don't do it. I know you're thinking about it. And I know that it's like partially my fault as well, but like, come on. Just chill, please. Just chill about it. And look at this, right? I need a vanguard, but I also need my carry down really quickly, right? I have all three of my carries. It's like, oh, but my vanguards are all at the bottom. What do you mean? That's where the gummy comes in. Do you think I care that my winner has a defender buff? Do you think I care? Do you think I care? Do you think I care? I don't. It's still winner. He still does 1 billion damage. Does it matter that he has a defender buff? No. No, it doesn't. No. Not at all. Wow, they actually are like all at the bottom. Fang is at bottom. I actually like... I don't know if I would say that with vigor if I wasn't recording this right now. How much background noise can you hear? That's the real question I wanna know. Boom! Don't die, Minot, please. This is... The entire strategy hinges on this. Who's the most bottom? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the most bottom of them all? Okay. I need to set this up real quick. Irene shouldn't die from this. And then we blast. We blast! And then this stage is good. And then we're good. We're good. We just grab some snipers here, put our Ashtray down, and then we're golden. And that's it. You can see there, guys. You can see that that was kind of unlucky. Right? Oh, all my vanguards are on the bottom? Like, what? How do you do this, right? Like, it's you get so unlucky in SSS. It's so random. It's so like, ugh. Why, man? Like, I don't want to play this random game mode. Like, I agree. I don't want to play this random game mode sometimes. That's totally like acceptable. I've been mentally and emotionally scarred by the squirrel, and it's like you want to throw yourself into more of this randomness. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, you need help. And like, while I will not confirm nor deny that, it's like, this is the power of this kind of squad. This is the power of supporters, of vanguards. This is what the strength is. It's not that like these operators are super strong. Yes, that's part of it. Absolutely. But the more important thing is that it's so much more consistent than just having a bunch of random crap in your squad. Like, oh, like, does Lapland actually help me in this scenario? No, she doesn't, because she still doesn't do that much damage, right? Yeah, she's a good 5-star, but does she do that much damage if she's not fully buffed, if she's not like, synergizing with someone else particularly? No, she doesn't. And it looks like my perfumer died, which is okay. That's fine. I should use this. Vanguard buffs is... yeah. That's okay. Rip our perfumer, but that's okay. Oh no, something went wrong? A shame. A damn shame. Oh no. That's why we bring 3 medics. We're ready for anything. We are prepared. We are ready, guys. We are ready. And this is it. This is all that you have to do, right? You get unlucky? Well, screw the game. Screw it. Who cares? Who cares that I got unlucky? I have supporters in my deck. I have supporters. People are gonna die here. Unless we have dolphin power. I'm actually surprised that worked. I definitely thought people were gonna die there. And then the strategy is that we remove Irene and we just let them go. We let them go. Be free. Be free. Look, they're like totally synced up right now as well. Look at them. It's perfect. They are one. They are one. And there we go. And we have one more, well, no, not one more, two more decisions to make. Oh my goodness, two more decisions. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? What we're going to get? What we're going to get? Okay. 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 What are you picking here, guys? I'm going to give you 3 hours to think of this. Because I need to go and have a 3-hour long shower in the tears of my enemies. Sometimes I wonder if this was like a bad decision. Did you answer puzzle, by the way? We are at critical mass, yes. But why not just take more vanguards? Why not? Why not? Okay. Why don't we not take puzzle here? Okay. Why don't we just no? Let's not take puzzle because like he's obviously the best one. He's obviously, of course he's the best one, right? It's puzzle. He's beautiful. He's so handsome. But let's not take puzzle because he's too strong. He's too broken. Let's take something else that's not as good. I'm not biased, I swear. Alright, what's next? What's next? This one is actually more of an interesting decision. Should I go for another 3 years? Nah, not 3 years. I'll just go out to get milk. It's fine. How many of you are lactose intolerant? Don't answer that. I don't want to know. I don't want this comment section to just be milk, you know, or cheese. What else? What other milk things are there? Milk products. I don't know. Dairy products, I should say. Cheese. That's like yogurt, I guess. Or yogurt, depending on where you're from. I don't know. But anyway, speaking of milk, we're taking Proviso because she's a supporter. And I'm not biased whatsoever, by the way. She is the best choice here by a long shot. And I'll just take her. I will remove the modules. Where are they? This one, and this one. If I can find her. She's all the way down there. And I want you to take just a moment here to look at this squad that I've built. I am in LT6. I'm about to go up against the Moss, which I believe is called like Tumor or something. Very interesting name that they chose there. But look at my squad here. I have a bunch of Vanguards. I have the equipment activation valves, so I have 10. I have both of my squad members. I took in a suboptimal pick. This would not have been here. Obviously, it would have been puzzle, which would have been better, but I took a suboptimal pick. I also took another suboptimal pick with Gummy. I have okay amount of snipers. I don't have any more sniper pressure. It has not changed since the first stage, since I essentially made this squad with these operators. And then look how many supporters I have. Look how many. And I should also mention about supporters. I would actually recommend that you take level 1 supporters if you don't have that many leveled up. Because when you go into the stages and it offers you operators, it will always offer ones that you have leveled up. So it will never, like, the game is never going to offer me my Tsukinogi because she's level 1. So if I just take her, then that's a free supporter that I have. And then you can see that the game offered me Roberta, offered me Shimare, offered me Sora, offered me Proviso, because I have them leveled up. And they were like, hey, you want some of this? I heard that you're like kind of into this stuff, right? Like the game knows. The game is aware of that. So that's why we take the level 1 supporters. Now, obviously, I have quite a few supporters leveled up, so I don't have to do this normally. So I would normally take stuff like Proviso, Angelina, and Skalta. Like these operators I have leveled up, I would take them because I already have like 6 or 7 other supporters I have raised as well. But if you don't, just take the level 1. Just take them level 1. They did their job, which is to transfer through my squad faster, right? They did their job, and that's all that matters. Okay, but we're going into LT6. It's a boss stage. Let's go. All right, LT6 suffocation, and we got our opening squad, and it's really really bad. This one is really, really bad. Why is this bad though? Why is this bad? Well, I have 3 supporters, which I said I don't want. I don't have that many Vanguards. I only have a Vigna and Myrtle. I have a Medic, which is good, but I have 2 of these as well. So I kind of mandatory need to get rid of these. And then I will be getting rid of these 2 supporters. I'm not getting rid of Roberta specifically because she's a ground operator and she can block things. So that's why I'm choosing these 2 specifically. But I think this is a pretty obvious choice to get rid of all these. So let's just go. We did get 2 carries, not great. We got a supporter, we got a sniper, that's okay. We got the preparation zone area thingamajig, transmitter, preparation area transmitter. So let's go. We're going. I forgot that I need to put my medic down first. The Myrtle is the strongest. Pure stream, please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Okay. Also, you might be wondering, why am I like deploying my supporters and then immediately retreating them? It's mainly because one is that they're level 1, so they don't do anything. But the second is that if I have them on this map and they take damage, then Pure Stream will heal them, and there's no point in her healing them. So I'm going to take this quickly because I really need something like Perfumer. That's really good. And I'm going to take this because it's really scaring me that I need some healing here. We leak things? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares that we leak things? It doesn't matter. So I don't have that many Vanguards. But what I do have is snipers, so I'm going to be focusing on getting my snipers as quickly as possible. There's Vanguards, unfortunately, but that's okay. Here's another sniper. We just deploy our supporters, try and find our last sniper, which is kind of unlikely, to be honest with you. It's kind of unlikely because I only have 5 of them, right? If I took like Schwartz, for example, earlier on, then maybe this would be a bit easier because I would have more snipers. But I can see right now that I have so many Vanguards that I can just deploy all of them in very quick succession. And then deploy Irene. We activate this just so that things are alive. And then Irene is blasting. And then now look, 16 enemies killed. I already have my Irene down. And I basically won. I've just won already. Obviously, I'm going to keep playing and just get down. Oh, look, 16 operators. I have 2 of my carries down now. And now I've like well and truly won, essentially. Now I've well and truly won. We're just going to be getting our winner down. You know, why not? Why not? We'll just get him down. We're going to be continuing this on. And you can see, right? Look at what we've done. This is why I said it was so important. And I will absolutely concede that this boss is may seem like a special case, but this is something that you should always be thinking about. I have all 3 of my operators, my carry operators, I have all 3 of them set up basically by the first rest phase. Now, why is it important? Well, a boss like this likes to put things into your preparation zone. So every time you press this, you're going to be taking out something that's usually bad, and you're never going to be able to get your operators in here back into your preparation zone because he's going to keep putting them in here, right? And now I am going to just kill him, apparently. I wasn't planning to do that, but there we go. But you can see here, like, oh, like now, okay, well, this is like all I have to work with now. And if you can't kill him that quickly, then it's like, well, what are you going to do? And I'm not going to draw anymore. I'm not going to transfer anymore. I'm not going to use anything else. I'm just going to sit here just to prove to you that like this is how it is. Like imagine this. Imagine that I just have like none of this ability to draw all of my next operators. This is why it's so important to have that critical mass. Now, obviously, critical mass will depend on your account and how many Vanguards you have leveled up, how many snipers you have, how many casters, how many of whatever you're using, right? Obviously, it will depend. But keep in mind that critical mass doesn't just refer to I need 5 Vanguards for my Irene. It's I need 5 buffs for my Irene. They don't have to be Vanguards. Remember what I said earlier about with winner. Does it matter if my winner has 1 defender buff? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter that winner has 1 defender buff, because he still kills everything with 4 vanguards, or even 3 vanguards, honestly, he still kills them. Especially if that extra buff is not a defender, and it's a guard, for example, like your Whistlash, or your Lapland, or your Frostleaf, or your Cutter, right? Even if it's like a guard is still 40% attack. That's a lot of attack. That's a lot of attack. So it's like, you just have to understand that it doesn't matter. As long as you have enough buffs for your operators, you'll be golden. As long as you can get them fast enough, you'll be golden. As long as you can remove all of the crap that you've been putting in your squad all this time, you'll be golden. And would you look at that, guys? We're in the home stretch here. Ashtini putting in good work. Look at her go. She makes me proud. Look at her. Miracles don't just fall out of the sky. I think it's miracles don't just drop out of the sky. I'm sorry. I'm not a true Ashtini enjoyer because I can't quote every line perfectly. I'm sorry. But there you go. Look at that, guys. Look at that, guys. And I know it took like an hour and 20 minutes just to get here. Oh my goodness. A normal SSS run for me takes like 25 minutes. Because I'm fast. Because I know what I'm doing. Because I'm confident. Because I know what decisions to make. I know which operators work. I know how to strategize in every map. If there's one thing that you should know to get better at SSS, it's that you should play SSS. I know it seems really simple. If you want to get good at it, play the damn game mode. Just play it. You'll understand. You'll pick up on it. You've gotten this far in Arknights. You have the very basic knowledge. Even if you are the kind of person that uses guides all the times, you have the very basic knowledge of how to play the game. It's just a little bit more in SSS. It's just a little bit more. It's a little bit just a different way of thinking about it. And there you go. There is Raytheon Industries, flawless, emergency, with a squad that's kinda meh. I know I used the strong stuff. I know that I used a very meta squad in a sense. But I hope that this was a nice proof of concept that this works. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I might make a 4th video in this series if I get a lot of questions on my videos, but that is to be decided when this video comes out, obviously. But I guess I will leave you there. Thank you so much for watching. This has been SSS for Donkeys, and I'm your friendly neighborhood horseman. Goodbye.